You talk a lot about a miracle mindset. Can you explain that to us further?
Number one, thank you for doing your research. And
Pleasure.
that's a very good question. A miracle is a supernatural event. It's something uncommon, not normal, and not regular. We were created to manifest miracles. Walt Disney walked into a theme park in the 1930s. It was not going to be till 30 years later that he created a place called Disneyland. But 30 years prior, he walked into a theme park and he said to his friend, I'm going to do my own theme park someday, but mine's going to be different, better, and more magical. Oh, I love this. So he was already thinking 30 years before he created Disneyland, I'm going to do a theme park, but mine's going to be different, better, and more magical. A miracle mindset is when you get a supernatural, extraordinary way of thinking in your mind, and you just meditate on this way of thinking. This is how I think. I really do. I saw myself becoming Tim Storey before I became Tim Storey.
How old
I,
were
t-
you?
I talked to Oprah Winfrey about this, and she says, Tim, same with me. I was a child and I knew it. I knew it when I was probably about um, 10 years of age, 11 years of age. I already projected and I saw myself just going and doing amazing things. It's a mindset. If you talk to Pharrell Williams, he had a certain mindset. I tell you, the miracle mindset, the extraordinary, supernatural mindset, when somebody has that mindset, it will break them out of anything.
I mean, I've seen it. There's extraordinary people that I've interviewed on this podcast who all have that mindset. How does a person cultivate that and not allow things to come in and break it?
So we all have time on our hands, okay? So, I mean, if you were to look around just even this desk here, so I have Malcolm Gladwell here, okay? Then I have another one by Jason Jennings. It's another book here. And then I have a book by Oprah Winfrey right there, her latest one. Then I have another book right there. So I'm constantly meditating on books, hearing podcasts, like people should keep listening to your podcast to get a miracle mindset. I'm reading, I'm listening, I'm watching things, okay?
Mm.
And feeding my mind and my soul that kind of food to grow up to be the person that I am now. I do not spend a lot of time with negative people. If somebody's really negative, I may have a coffee with them, I may have a tea with them for a small period of time. If somebody somehow gets my phone number and they text me something negative about one of my friends or who I'm working with, I tell you, I just don't spend time with people like that. I will erase the text and just move on. So I think it's about really taking time to pay attention to what you meditate and what you dwell
What do you do when you're in a situation? And I know for a lot of people, where, say, it's work, for example, and you're the optimistic one, but you're with a lot of pessimistic people, but it's your job, so you kind of, can't get away from them. How should someone think in a situation like that?
on. Are you ready for the ultimate
I
answer?
can't wait.
Okay, so can people are they viewing this or just listening to us?
Both.
Okay, so I'm holding up a piece of paper and it says 1, 2, 3. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. There are levels of intimacy. Level one is I work with you. How are you doing, Sally? How are you doing, Chris? How are you doing, Marcus? Great. I'm working with you maybe for 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm working with you. So I know you at the level that is a very surface level.
Mm-hmm.
Level 2 is you might be my mate. Okay, we hang out, we may go for a drink, we may go here together, we may go there together. So we share maybe more intimate things with each other. Level 3 is a place where most people don't have the right people in their life, which is people who understand you, who get you, who know you. We all long to be known. When people misunderstand us, that is one of the biggest things that people do not like, is to be misunderstood. Like if somebody met you and they said, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. She seems like she's really into herself. Since she had this podcast, she's very into herself. You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
That's not me. Okay, so back to the level 1. If somebody is negative, if I have to work with them, I'm okay with it. It's level 1. I'm only going to see you for 8 to 10 hours a day. And I'm not going to see you every second of the day. I'm going to move around.
Yes.
Okay. What I'm looking for is I'm going to be nice to level 1 people always, because you never know what they're going through and coping with.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That makes them so irritable. But I'm going to be open to my level 2 people. And so there's actually a scripture in the Bible that says, he who shows himself friendly shall have many friends. So level 2 is care about people, love people, be genuinely concerned about people. Like I send my male friends heart emojis. Okay.
That's so nice.
And some of their wives just crack up. They're like, oh my God, Tim Storey, he is so down to earth. He sends you heart emojis. I do it sometimes to shock the heck out of them. Mostly the ones that are like such men. But sometimes I do it just because I really do love them. I really care about them. These are like my male friends. To a female, you got to watch who you send a heart emoji. Maybe I'll send a smiley face. That's funny, right?
That is funny. And tell me, thinking big in small places is also something that you talk about a lot. You say, let the dream speak, but then you need to think to activate it. How does that work?
So I honestly believe that the life you're living right now, that you saw beforehand, whether you were driving in a car or you were just at your house or you were in some setting and you envisioned your life. And so maybe you were in a very small place, but you were thinking big in the small place. And that's the beautiful thing about dreaming. That's a beautiful thing about the imagination. Whoa. My imagination took me to, ooh, I want to do that. Or, ooh, I want to meet them. Wow, I'd like to influence them. To think the things that I imagined, I did 10 times what I thought. Literally that much, 10 times. But I was thinking big in small places. Like we had 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment is how we lived. And then one day I lived in a house that had 7 bathrooms and an elevator in Beverly Hills. So that's quite a far thing from 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment to then where I saw myself going. I saw myself going into these places. There's times that certain people will come up to me and I had already seen myself meeting this person.
Is that via, when you're meditating and you're doing manifestation, or is that just a daydream that you're having?
I think it's 2. I believe that, here's a statement that I give. I say, I don't believe in chasing dreams. I believe in cooperating with what heaven has already said.